Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. November 13. 5:30 America, New York. How to cut your home's carbon footprint and make it more climate-friendly. The thought of decarbonizing your home might seem daunting, so we broke it down for you.
Wall Street Journal Markets. November 13. 5:30 America, New York. Retirees spend a lot of time and money to buy their forever home. Then they sell it. It doesn't take long for people to discover that what's perfect now is far from perfect before too long. And it costs them.
New York Times Business. November 13. 5 o'clock America, New York. Starting a business with your 401k? Be careful. As an aspiring entrepreneur, you may have a good idea, but tread lightly before using retirement savings as capital. Renee Edwards created Saturday Morning Shop in St. New York Times Business. November 13. 3 o'clock America, New York. Peace Corps volunteers fall through the cracks of a student loan fix. A deserving group of dedicated people has been left out of the government's latest patch for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program.
Marginal Revolution. November 13. 2:50 America, New York. Is marriage a normal good? Evidence from NBA drafts. Little is known about the causal link between male economic status and marriage outcomes, owing to lack of data on unanticipated permanent income shocks for men.
Daily FX Market News. November 13. 2 o'clock America, New York. Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum, ETH, drift off all-time highs. Outlook is still bright. After printing all-time highs at the start of the week, BTC and ETH have given back most of this week's gains, but the longer-term technical outlook remains positive.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. November 13. 057 America, New York. GE and the belief in management magic. The breakup of an American colossus reveals an essential corporate truth. No strategy can erase decades of bad decisions, or counteract irreversible changes in how business is done.
Marginal Revolution. November 13. 013 America, New York. What would a world with very cheap energy look like? I am indebted to Jason Crawford and Matt Iglesias for the inspiration on this topic. Here is an excerpt from my Bloomberg column. One second-order effect is that countries with good infrastructure planning would reap a significant relative gain.
Armstrong Economics. November 13. 007 America, New York. YouTube removes dislike count to protect White House. YouTube announced it is removing the public dislike button count from their website, coincidentally, following a slew of dislikes on Biden administration videos. Armstrong Economics. November 13. 003 America, New York. Dr. Seuss on Sleepy Joe. The Cat in the Hat, for adults who remember going to school without masks, shared bathrooms, and mRNA vaccines. The post Dr. Seuss on Sleepy Joe first appeared on Armstrong Economics.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. November 13. 000 America, New York. Robots versus fatbergs in America's sewers. Cash-strapped U.S. cities are turning to drones, artificial intelligence and other innovations to help inspect and fix the country's aging, underground arteries of waste. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. November 12. 2203 America, New York. Deere, UAW reach new tentative agreement on contract. Deere and AMP County and the United Auto Workers Union reached a third tentative agreement on a contract in the latest bid to end a strike at the agricultural and construction equipment maker that started October. New York Times Business. November 12. 2200 America, New York. AstraZeneca says it will start profiting from its vaccine. Countries have been paying about $3 to $4 per shot for AstraZeneca's vaccine under the company's not-for-profit pricing model. Receiving a booster shot of the AstraZeneca vaccine last month at a shopping mall in Phuket, Thailand. New York Times Business. November 12. 1924 America, New York. Judge ends conservatorship overseeing Britney Spears' life and finances. The pop star had called the arrangement, which governed her life for nearly 14 years, exploitative. A judge ruled it was no longer required. Supporters of Britney Spears gathered outside the courthouse in Los Angeles on Friday.
Daily FX Market News. November 12. 1900 America, New York. Australian dollar outlook. US dollar, Treasuries, commodities. Where to for AUD, USD? The Australian dollar weakened during the week as the fallout from US CPI sent US yields higher, bidding up the US dollar. Will AUD, USD find a base?
New York Times Business. November 12, 1833 America New York, Amazon Staten Island workers withdraw request for union vote. The workers had spent months collecting signatures to call for an election. The Amazon Labor Union, an organizing group at the company's Staten Island warehouses, has been led by Christian Smalls, left. The Library of Economics and Liberty. November 12, 1813 America New York, students open to evidence on taxes. Interviewers at campusreform.org often go on campuses to interview college students about their knowledge of various current issues. There has been a lot of talk lately about whether the rich in the United States pay their fair share in taxes. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. November 12, 1802 America New York, as Taylor Swift re-recorded her Red album, Universal reworked contracts. Taylor Swift's re-recordings of her music catalog, including the Red album, are going viral on TikTok and outperforming the originals on streaming services, and her label, Universal Music Group, has tightened up terms with other artists. New York Times Business. November 12, 1749 America New York, Johnson & Johnson will break itself up into two companies. The 135-year-old company announced plans to divide itself into a consumer products business and a medical company. Johnson & Amp. Johnson announced plans to spin off its consumer products division, home to Tylenol, Band-Aid, Neutrogena beauty products and more, into a separate business. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. November 12, 1740 America New York, Amazon worker group withdraws petition for union election in New York. A group of Amazon.com Inc. warehouse employees in the New York City borough of Staten Island have withdrawn their petition with the National Labor Relations Board to hold a union election at 4 company warehouses, a Labor Board spokeswoman said Friday.
BBC News Business. November 12, 1736 America New York, strategies to close the pandemic gender gap at work. COVID has pushed many women out of the workforce. What practical ideas will entice them back?